All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do our daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. So we talk about Bitcoin and the miners all the time on this channel. So if that is content that you guys are interested in, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could smash the like button, I would appreciate it. It helps get this video out to more people. So thanks for helping. Okay, I want to get into Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Bitcoin had another sideways day, so it was very similar to yesterday. However, the Bitcoin miners did not fare so well today. So we've been on a nice run. So I want to talk about the run we've had over the last 5 or 6 weeks. I want to look at what happened today and then put it into perspective. Then I want to look at some of the Bitcoin charts and see where we're going from here. Is this rally over? Was yesterday the top for the Bitcoin miners, or is there more room to run? That's what I want to try to figure out. So let's start out by looking at what happened to the miners today. So here is the big board. So you're going to see it is all red with one exception, which is just incredible. There always seems to be one company that's contrary to all the other ones. So today that is Cypher. It was up 4.4%. They had no news. They did not have unusual volume. So I'm not quite sure why they were up while the rest of the Bitcoin miners were down, some of which were down dramatically, which I want to go through. Two of the newer publicly traded miners released earnings yesterday, and the market apparently did not like either of those reports because both of those companies tanked today. So Greenidge was down 19% today, and TeraWolf was down 18% today. In addition to that, Stronghold was down 11%, Bitfarms was down 8%, Hive was down 7%. There was a lot of 4s, 5s, 6s, everything red. So, you take a minute and look at the board, but it was straight red across the board. So the big three Bitcoin miners, Riot was down 6%, Marathon was down 4.3%, and Core Scientific was down 3.5%. So not a good day for anybody unless you happen to own Cypher. Okay, so I just want to quickly revisit this. I showed this in yesterday's update. This was all the Bitcoin miners' activity from July 1st through August 15th. So that was a month and a half period ending yesterday. So this does not include today's results. Now remember, other than Cypher, which was up a total of 82%, Cypher was green today. All the rest of these stocks were red today. So you can see all of these stocks have had a monumental run up in the last 45 days, with the exception of Mawson, which is down 9%, to be a sideways day in Bitcoin and have all the Bitcoin miners go down quite a bit. I'm just wondering if that signals a top. I do not believe that it does, but it's something to pay attention to because it's exactly contrary to what's been happening basically for the last 6 weeks. Okay, so this is Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame, and I want to show you something because, as always, there's an orange line where Bitcoin was when the stock market closed yesterday, the equity markets in the US. So Bitcoin was at $23,983. This yellow circle is when the market opened today. So Bitcoin was within $50 of where it was when the market closed yesterday. This green candle right here is the 4 p.m. candle, so that's today's market close. Once again, this was within $50 of where we were when the market closed yesterday. So despite the fact that in the middle we did have some dips to the downside, and again, all of this is only about $300 in total. So an incredibly tight trading range all day. Yet the Bitcoin miners were all down, and some of them, as you can see, were down drastically. So again, that's why I'm pointing this out. This is a little bit of the opposite trend. This was like from January through June what was happening. In July and August, we were kind of having the reverse. The Bitcoin miners were outpacing Bitcoin. So I don't know if this is just profit taking on one day. Okay, this is Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. So you will see yesterday I had a couple of purple lines right here and right here. This was an ascending channel. We were right on this red candle right here, still within the channel when I made yesterday's video. However, you can see since then, everything has been outside of the channel. So I'm going to look at a few different things here. I'm going to look at it right with you guys. This ascending channel failed basically immediately after I called it out. However, if I draw this line down here from the bottom of this candle wick crossing the bottom of these candle wicks, I have a new bottom. So I'm going to leave that there and see what happens. I will admit, I don't even like to do that. It's very weak. It looks to me like this failed and it's invalidated. But I'm going to put this line here and see if this serves as support versus this. That can happen. The other line I want to show was, this was our previous low back on August 12th. So you'll see we candle wicked basically right down to that same spot today. So to some extent, we did find support at this previous low from a few days ago. So I don't know that we're in this channel at all. I don't know if we're bouncing off of a new level of support here. There's a lot of very ambiguous stuff going on the 4-hour time frame. This is a mess right here. So by tomorrow, I hope to delete all these lines and hopefully we'll have a clue of what's really going on. So if we look at the RSI on the 4-hour time frame, I've also added these two lines, these two blue lines. The RSI has been setting a series of lower highs. This is like the 4th time in a row, and now we're bouncing off the bottom of this channel as well. As soon as this pattern did not go to oversold territory, then this pattern that dates way back to the beginning of June, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, that worked 4 times in a row, but when this did not get to oversold territory, then that pattern became invalidated. If it could break through to the downside and get to oversold territory, we might be able to do that in 1 or 2 days, in which case we will have reset this oscillator and we could potentially have a nice run up from there. Or conversely, if it can break through the upside of this and get back to overbought territory, then we could have a nice run up as well. So right now, being stuck in the middle is not where I want to be. All right, so here we are on the 1-day time frame. So I'll point out again, as always, this is the 200-week moving average, this yellow line going horizontally across the screen. So we spent about a month underneath this. That is unprecedented. That was the first time Bitcoin had ever done that in its history. It has been below this line 2 other times since its inception, but it immediately moved back up above the line both of those previous times. This time we had an extended period below this. So we have a little bit of a confirmation that potentially this is a line of support. So what I'm looking to see on the 1-day time frame is these 3 or 4 days in a row are starting to look a lot like this period right here, which was back at the end of July. So we did have a little pullback and we retested this 200-week moving average. So it's starting to look like we're having a similar experience. So I don't know if we've found some support. If you remember on the 4-hour, we actually found a little support right here where we are. So I'm looking to see, can we bounce back up from here, or, you know, one more daily red candle to the downside, and I'm going to really feel like we're probably going to go back down and test the 200-week moving average. Right now that's sitting just under 22,500. So it's not like that's a monumental move to the downside, but it is a $1,300 to $1,500 move to the downside. If we can confirm a few things that we're breaking to the downside, there's actually nothing confirming that right now. There's nothing confirming a break to the upside or the downside. That's a little bit of the mystery going on here. And we're more than a week into being very sideways and very neutral. I want to look at the RSI and the MACD because they're telling me the same story. So this is the RSI on the 1-day time frame. And you'll see for a while we were trying to break above this level of 61 here, which we reached back on July 19th. So that was almost a month ago. Now we've gotten rejected off of this several times. Technically, we did get to 62 for 1 day and then go back down. So I'm calling that a rejection. Now, I will tell you, we're sitting at 56 comfortably off of this line of a support. So this is an ascending line of support that we have stayed above the whole time. However, most of the trading day today, the RSI was touching this ascending line of support. So it was threatening to break through to the downside for probably 5 hours today. However, it did not, and it pulled back up. So to me, that's actually a little bit of an encouraging sign. However, we are still very stuck between this ascending line of support and this horizontal line of resistance here at 61. So again, we didn't break to the upside. We didn't break to the downside. It's not really giving us any indication of which way it's even tending to go. So for me personally, we're in probably a 5 or 6 week uptrend. Even if this is only a relief rally, which I think it is, I'm going to tend to go in the direction that we've been going in. And the momentum has been upward for 6 weeks now. So, as we sit here neutral and we can't decide, for me, I would still say I'm still looking upward until we have some verification that we are now trending down. Lastly, we can quickly look at the fear and greed index. It's at 44. We talked about this a bunch on yesterday's video. You can check that out. 44 is technically fear, but to me, 45 to 55 is neutral. We're sitting at 44. We were at 45 yesterday. We were at 47 the day before that. So over 3 months in fear and extreme fear. Most of that time was in extreme fear. So to be at or around neutral is also very positive sign. So despite the fact that everything's a little bit ambiguous now, I'm leaning towards that we're going to keep moving up in the meantime until the charts prove me wrong. However, of course, I need to say this is not financial advice. I can't predict the future. I don't know which way we're going from here. So I've shown you the tendencies and what's going on. From a trading standpoint, I tend to just go with the momentum until it shows me that it's changed. So it may do that today or tomorrow. This may have been the top. The one main indicator that is even making me think that is we had a sideways day in Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin miners were down quite a bit. So we will see. So as I leave you, I'm in the 15-minute time frame. We're literally exactly at the exact same spot that we were when we closed the market yesterday. We're just about $15 away from that point. So we are pretty much glued to this line. So until we break one way or the other, I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens. So that's the main thing that I'm going to be looking for. Which way do we break from this yellow line right here? Are we going to go head to the upside and continue this rally, or was that it and that's it and the rally's over? So we'll find out. Of course, I will be back tomorrow for another update. So that's all I have right now for Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.